because it's 2024,
Mhm.
there's a new roster of movies coming out, and there's not as many movies as there was last year. So let's briefly go over a few of the movies coming out this year.
Oh boy.
On
Mhm.
Valentine's Day, it's Madame Web, Dakota Johnson, Emma
Madame.
Roberts, all those
Madame, it's Madam.
Madame
Madam Web.
Madam Web, and then who's next? Deadpool
Mhm.
coming out
That,
July.
That's
that
gonna
movie,
be-
I'm actually like
that's gonna be good.
that's one that I do.
Can I
wanna
comment
see.
on something real quick?
Oh yeah, go for it.
I think it's interesting. Deadpool. It's like the end of the Fox universe, and it's
Mhm.
coming into the MCU universe. And like, it's crazy to think about. Out of all these superhero movies, the only ones that are still going strong, technically, is X-Men. X-Men started in 2000.
Oh right.
Yeah.
In 2000.
Mhm.
And Deadpool is part of that same cinematic universe. The timeline doesn't make any sense, but he's still part of that universe. And now he's bringing that universe into the MCU in 2024.
Yeah.
X-Men has been going on for 24 years.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Strong.
Next up in August, Craven the
Yeah.
Hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know about this. Yet.
Yeah. all of us are like,
I got some thoughts. Well,
What
when
is
you guys are
Sony's
ready,
Spider-Man universe. What's the difference here? Is there a bunch of different universes now? Spider-Man.
So-
It's the Sony universe.
So Sony, they have a weird deal with Marvel and Disney about sharing Spider-Man because Sony still owns the movie and TV. Actually, no, they only own the movie rights to Spider-Man now. I painfully remember that Disney and Marvel got the TV rights because the best Spider-Man cartoon ever ended because of it, which is the Spectacular Spider-Man. But Sony is somewhat trying to do what they can to keep their rights by making movies that are in their own universe, but they're not. It's a weird thing where they're not able to say or technically use Spider-Man because Spider-Man is in the MCU. And so they're doing everything they can to take stuff from the Spider-Man mythos and have it in its own universe. And it's just like, no, stop doing that. Like, just, it doesn't work without, like, I'm sorry. I know I'm going to get heat for this, but I hate the Tom Hardy Venom movies. I hate them.
don't worry, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Spider-Man 3, which is heavily overhated and underrated, got Venom right, and nobody wants to talk about it. And meanwhile, the Sony Venom movies got Venom wrong, but everyone is just,
you mean the Eric Foreman Venom?
you know what? I don't care. Yeah, Eric Foreman, Topher Grace, that Venom, that is the most accurate depiction of Venom on the big screen.
Okay, now
and no one wants to talk about it.
Before we get into that, though, now Julio, I know that I know Chris is a huge Spider-Man fan. I know that you are also a Spider-Man fan. Outside of people who know the Spider-Man universe very well, is Craven the Hunter someone that people are going to be like, who is this? What is this all about?
Yeah,
I'm a comic book guy too, and this is like, for me, this is diving pretty deep.
No, not really. Yeah. I mean, Craven the Hunter has one of the best Spider-Man storylines ever.
Oh,
he's a cool character.
Movie.
I know.
It's not even a Spider-Man movie.
I wouldn't have made it.
He kind of looks like he looks like a production guy that wandered in.
Well, it shouldn't be Aaron Taylor Johnson. And what's funny is it makes sense and it doesn't make sense, the whole multiverse thing, because he was Quicksilver in the MCU, and now we've seen them be like, oh, the MCU and the Sony universe are kind of loosely connected. There's threads that connect them, and it would just be funny if like Craven the Hunter shows up in the MCU, and what if he runs against Wanda if she to let it's a weird thing. But Craven the Hunter is an extremely popular Spider-Man character. I like the character, but no offense, Julio. I think I know what story you're talking about. I think that story is overrated, Craven's Last Hunt, because from the time that I was in high school, which was a while ago. In fact, Joe, you can attest this because we met when I was 17 years old.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far back as when you and I first befriended each other, every year going on message boards or anywhere on social media, the number one thing I would see Spider-Man fans say is, I want a movie based off of Kraven's Last Hunt. I want a movie based off of Kraven's Last Hunt. So I got tired of seeing that.
Is it like Batman fans that are like, oh, we need a Killing Joke movie? Why don't we have a Killing Joke
basically
movie?
like a Killing Joke movie or the Dark Knight Returns movie?
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's been asked for since the book was made. Same with the Kraven thing. This guy in this picture looks like he's Dominic Toretto's long lost brother.
He looks like a young, like when I picture Kraven, this is like, Kraven if he was just starting out, which essentially is the movie. It's an origin story for Kraven, but it's like, I will say the poster looks good. If he looks as good as the poster for the movie, I could see that, but I feel like the poster is like, this is the last frame at the end of the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One of my big gripes about these movies is why do we always have to go to origin stories?
Yeah.
Why?
There are people like you who don't know the characters.
Freaking boring. They're so boring. Origin stories. Like everybody knows these characters. They've been around for dozens of years. Just make a good movie. Why does it always have to be an origin story? Anyway. Okay, so we got a couple Spider-Mans. We got Kraven the Hunter. We got Venom 3, which we're all gonna trash because
it's weird that we have 3 Spider-Man related movies coming out this year. I just realized that. That's so weird. Then the other big one, which I think is going to crush all of these other movies except for Deadpool 3. I think Deadpool 3 is going to do like 253 million domestically.
It'll win that Golden Globe now that we're given to the movie that made the most money.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. But the next Joker movie, Fully Ado, which is Madness for 2, you know it's going to do well in the theaters.
Unfortunately.
I was not a fan of the first one, not because I didn't think the acting wasn't great. Joaquin Phoenix is truly a psychopath when he wants to be. But it didn't speak to me. I don't like villain stories. That's just me. I just don't get it. So it's like, it didn't speak to me. I didn't really enjoy it. I don't like it when the villains win. I just don't. I don't. There's something there. There's something there for me where I'm like,
The script of the first one, when I saw the movie the first time around, I was like, okay, Joaquin's awesome in this. It felt to me like these guys are sitting around writing a story about a deranged comedian, and either Joaquin walked in the room after reading part of it and goes, this would make a good Joker movie. Maybe we should put the Joker's name on this. Oh, that's a great idea. Pass the weed,
Yes.
and that's what happened.
I was literally going to say that. My issue, like when I first saw it, I liked it. And I don't know, maybe I'm wired weird, but when certain things start becoming extremely popular and you can't escape hearing or seeing about it, sort of like, you get introduced to a song, you're like, oh, that's not bad. But then you hear it in every single store and on every single station in the radio and everywhere you go. And you're like, okay, I'm really freaking tired of this song now. That's how I feel about certain things where it's like it gets too popular for me. And that's what happened with Joker, which then opened my eyes. This is not a Joker movie. This is just a movie about a mentally ill guy who happens to be a clown, and they slapped the name Joker on it. And they were like, how much money do we have to pay to use Bruce Wayne and Gotham City? And that's exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I also don't understand why DC, like, I think it's funny how you have people that are like, oh my God, I'm tired of multiverse stories like South Park and everybody else. We had 2 to 3 multiverse movies recently. We had Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We had Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is a well-deserved sequel. And then we had Everything Everywhere All at Once, and like maybe one other movie. That's not a lot of multiverse movies. No one wants to talk about the fact that DC has quietly made their own multiverse with, not much time passed between Christian Bale's Batman and then getting Ben Affleck's Batman, and then getting Robert Pattinson's Batman, and then getting George Clooney back.
There are 3 or 4 Batmans in 10 years, guys.
And then a Joker movie, and none of these are connected at all.
No.
It's like, what are we doing here? What
Yeah,
are we doing?
I don't understand it either. It's like it's fracturing everything. But I agree. Like the Joker movie isn't like an actual Batman Joker movie. It reminds me. I can't remember the name of the movie, but in the 2000s, famous actor did a movie basically, which was the Joker movie. It was a guy who was like pushed to his limit at his job. Was it Michael Douglas?
What's falling down?
Yes, falling down. Like he just like he gets fired from his job and he goes crazy and he shoots up the entire city. That was the joke. They took that movie and rewrote it and gave it to Joaquin Phoenix and said, here's a clown, a deranged clown movie. And then, like you guys said, he read it and was like, oh, this is a great Joker movie. Let's just get the rights to the Joker. Like, no.
Yeah.
I don't even know if like if they connected the Batman movie with the last Batman movie that came out with the Joker, I'm sure that studios would want that, but I don't think Joaquin would want to do that.
If they did the Batman and
the Pattinson one.
But see, herein lies the issue. Bruce Wayne is like an 8-year-old boy in the Walking Phoenix Joker movie.
Right.
So it's like Joker's going to be this old, decrepit guy by the time Bruce Wayne in that universe becomes Batman, if that universe even gets a Batman. Which, why, and like, you know, to talk about why do we need to see origin stories, DC and Warner Brothers has an obsession with showing Batman's origin story.
I know.
I hate it.
Batman is the only one that didn't do it. Every single one, like Batman Forever had to do it because they were, it's sort of kind of like a sequel to Batman Returns, but let's also try and like, you know, be our own new thing. And then Batman Begins had to do it. And then also Dark Knight.
We have 50, 60, 70 years of these characters with all of these incredible storylines that have been written in graphic novels and comic books, and we get the same story told over and over and over again in a different way with different actors, and I'm bored. I'm just bored. I don't necessarily need to see the Killing Joke or any of these, you know, like I don't need to see God, what is his name? Tim or Todd versions of the Robin character.
Oh, Jason Todd.
Yeah, I don't need to see the Jason Todd and all that others. Like, I don't need to see these. I just need different stories. Like, I've seen an origin story 10 times for Batman. I don't care anymore. Give me something different. Everybody knows who Batman is. Everybody knows what he does. Give me a better detective story. Give me an Arkham Asylum, based on the video game series. Give me stuff like that. Those detective stories for Batman. We're getting away from what Batman is. We have turned him into just a thug when he is actually he's DC's most accomplished detective, and we don't ever get detective stories anymore.
That's what I liked about the Batman. It actually leaned more into his detective side more than anything.
I mean, but still not enough. He was still
I can see that.
Too thuggish.
I liked his Batman. I didn't like his Bruce Wayne. It was a little too, what is that? Chemical Romance to me. Too much. Yeah, I didn't like him for that. But I thought his Batman was good. I thought a lot of it was really good. I didn't like the Joker. Is that who it was at the end of the movie? In the asylum? That was terrible. But other than that, I thought the movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
The deleted scene with the Joker was actually decent. There's a deleted scene. Like, my issue is like scars again. Like, that was my only issue.
Just give me, you know what? Give me a detective story with Zizix and let's just like get on with it. It
sounds to me like you guys are somewhat excited about movies coming out this year. Somewhat. I'd say so. Very opinionated.
Yeah. I'm interested. I don't know if I'm excited, but like I have mild interest in the Sony Spider-Man spin-off movies. What I find funny, real quick, Madam Web, the reaction to the trailer was super split. You had comic book nerds familiar with the material going, oh, this looks like it's gonna suck. And you had general audiences who have no idea what this is, specifically from the horror community, going, oh my God, this looks awesome. It looks like a superhero version of Final Destination.
Right.
And I was like, because I'm from both camps, I love comic books, movies, and horror movies. And I was like, oh crap, it does kind of look like a superhero version of Final Destination. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting if like the comic book people don't support the movie, but the horror community comes out and supports the movie. You know what I mean?
Well, the main actress, Dakota something, right?
Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, yeah. She looks bored. Through the whole entire trailer. I was like, does she want to be there?
I'd say
but that's just. Have you ever seen the 50 Shades movies? She looks exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
And she's supposed to be having the time of her life in that film.
And she's like,
and then it seems like there's some time travel elements that are probably going to happen. This is, I got this whole vibe, like this is maybe in the past or something, I got that vibe from it. So that might be interesting, but anything that comes out of Sony, I just don't care. If it's not animated, I don't care. Yeah.